Ah, the most dangerous thing the enemy fears is not your past, but the moment you awaken to who you truly are. Unknown, chosen one, pause. Don't scroll past this. Just breathe, slowly, deeply. Because what you're about to hear isn't something you found by accident. This message has been divinely sent, placed right in front of you, at the exact time you needed it most. And you know that's true, don't you? Something inside of you has already been stirring. You've felt the whispers in your spirit. You've noticed your body behaving differently. You're not imagining it. You are being called into the fifth dimension. This isn't a metaphor. This isn't fantasy. It's a real spiritual transformation, and it has already begun inside you. That's why your emotions feel so intense lately. That's why your dreams have become more vivid, your thoughts more electric, your physical senses more alive. You feel everything more deeply. You see beyond what's visible. You're becoming aware of something that most of the world still sleeps through. Why now? Why you? Because you were chosen. And that means your journey begins before the rest of the world catches up. But let me ask you something personal. Have you been feeling like your body doesn't quite belong in the same routines anymore? Like you're outgrowing the version of yourself you used to be? Have you experienced sudden bursts of energy, followed by deep fatigue? Have you noticed your heartbeat picking up for no reason, or moments of peace so profound it feels like heaven touched your skin? These are not random. These are sacred signs. Your body is responding to divine frequencies from a higher dimension. You see, when the soul is called to ascend, the body must be prepared to follow. That's why you're feeling symptoms you can't explain, tingling in your hands or feet, pressure in your forehead, chest tightness that's not from fear but from expansion. It's all part of your divine upgrade. You are not broken. You are being rebuilt, cell by cell, breath by breath, into the being God designed you to be from the very beginning. And here's the truth most people miss. This shift doesn't start outside of you. It starts within, in the silence, in the discomfort, in the beautiful confusion of waking up in a body that no longer fits into the old world. But you, chosen one, were born to lead others through this. That's why you feel it first. You're not behind, you're ahead. If any of this is resonating with your soul right now, pause, let it sink in. You're not alone, and I want to hear from you. Comment 777 below if you feel this truth vibrating in your spirit. Your presence here is not just welcome, it's prophetic. And to those of you who've supported this channel with a super thanks, I see you, I feel your heart, and I am deeply grateful. Your love and generosity are helping these messages reach every chosen one who is quietly searching for their confirmation. Whether you've donated or simply listened with an open spirit, thank you. You are part of a divine unfolding. So stay with me, because what we're about to explore next may explain every strange, holy, powerful thing you've been experiencing. This isn't just content. This is a calling. This is a mirror to your soul. And the signs your body has been sending? We're going to decode them one by one. Your transformation has already begun, chosen one. Now let's uncover what it really means. God's chosen ones, your body is entering the fifth dimension. Here are the signs. What if the shift you've been feeling deep within isn't your imagination, but a sacred transformation few will ever understand? You are not being led into fantasy. You are being elevated into divine reality. This is the fifth dimension, not a distant galaxy or mythic afterlife, but a sacred state of spiritual consciousness. It is not a place you travel to with your feet, but with your soul. And as one of God's chosen ones, you are now awakening into it. This dimension is a higher frequency of existence where love replaces fear, unity replaces separation, and divine purpose guides your every step. It's not about abandoning your body or becoming some otherworldly being. It's about remembering who you really are beneath the noise. Your soul is no longer willing to live by the rules of survival and ego. It is gently, yet powerfully, leading your body to vibrate at a new rhythm, one that resonates with heaven even while your feet still walk the earth. In the third dimension, most people unknowingly live in a prison of fear, control, and scarcity. Life feels rigid, time is linear, and everything is seen through the lens of limitation. Have you noticed how many around you remain stuck in this loop, chasing validation, fearing loss, forgetting the eternal? This is the realm where people often sleep through their own calling. Then comes the fourth dimension, where the stirrings begin. The veil thins, questions surface. People begin to feel that something more is calling them. The soul begins to whisper, sometimes in dreams, sometimes in pain. But in the fifth dimension, you no longer just hear the whisper. You become the voice. Your heart takes over the map. Time becomes fluid. What once felt urgent becomes irrelevant, and what once felt impossible now becomes inevitable. In this realm, your relationship with God shifts from theory to experience. You don't merely believe in divine presence, you walk with it, speak with it, and move by its guidance. As Jesus said in John 10:27, "My sheep listen to my voice. I know them, and they follow me." That's where you are now, learning to follow the voice, not the noise. And you don't have to die to enter this dimension. This is what makes your current experience extraordinary. Your body, mind, and spirit are aligning to become a vessel that can carry divine light in real time. You're living in both realms, earth and heaven, simultaneously. It's no wonder you feel physical changes, sudden fatigue, bursts of emotion, or waves of insight. This isn't confusion, it's confirmation. Even Pope John Paul II once said, "Faith and reason are like two wings on which the human spirit rises to the contemplation of truth." Your spirit is rising, and your body is learning how to carry the truth it has long denied. That's why, chosen one, this moment in your life is unlike any other. You are not watching reality shift from the outside. You are the shift. The fifth dimension is not merely a teaching, it's a living, breathing frequency hidden in plain sight. Only those with spiritual eyes can see it. Only those with a transformed heart can hold it. And that is precisely why this message has found you now. You are not just being awakened, you are being prepared. And soon we'll explore the signs that your body is already stepping into this sacred dimension. But first, stay with this truth. You are being entrusted with something rare, holy, and powerful. As you step more fully into the fifth dimension, something extraordinary begins to happen within you, something few are prepared to name. Duality, that old framework of good or bad, right or wrong, us versus them, begins to dissolve. Your soul no longer clings to black and white thinking. Instead, you begin to perceive life as a divine tapestry, one woven with threads of grace, sorrow, beauty, and transformation, all connected by the unseen hand of God. Where judgment once reigned, compassion now flows. Where fear once held you hostage, peace begins to breathe freely. And where conditional love once existed, you now radiate a love that is rooted not in effort, but in divine essence. A love that is unshakable, untaught, and unmistakably sourced in God. As Paul reminds us in Romans 5:5, God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us. This love isn't something you're striving to feel, it's who you are becoming. In this sacred frequency, your reactions begin to shift into responses. You no longer live on autopilot, lashing out or shrinking back. Instead, you respond with spiritual awareness. Have you noticed how your sensitivity to people's energy has deepened? How certain rooms feel heavy and others feel like peace itself? This is your intuition awakening. This is your discernment sharpening. And you don't need all the answers anymore. That pressure is gone. Instead, you move in alignment. You flow with faith. You walk as Abraham once walked, going, "To the land I will show you," without needing a full map, just trusting the one who leads. This shift cannot be manufactured. You don't force your way into the fifth dimension by willpower alone. It unfolds as your inner frequency rises. And your frequency rises the moment you begin to release what no longer nourishes your soul. The expired attachments, old identities, draining relationships, outdated mindsets, they cannot survive in this new atmosphere. They were not meant to. Have you been wondering why certain friendships are fading? Why certain habits suddenly feel heavy? It's because the old version of you is being left behind, just as a seed must shed its shell to bloom. Bishop T.D. Jakes once said, "You can't be who you were and who you're going to be at the same time." This is exactly what you're living now. The falling away isn't punishment, it's purification. Chosen one, make no mistake. Your journey into the fifth dimension is not accidental. It is your divine appointment, one that was written into your destiny long before you were born. The more you awaken, the more undeniable this truth becomes. It pulses through your spirit. It hums in your chest. It rises with every tear and deepens with every quiet moment of prayer. That sense of disconnection you felt from the world, that sudden unfamiliarity with people and places you once knew, it isn't a sign of something wrong. It's the evidence of transformation. You are not who you were. You've outgrown the illusion. The spiritual armor you once wore to survive is now being replaced with robes of purpose, light, and truth. Like Moses descending from Mount Sinai, whose face shone with the presence of God, you too are carrying a light that can no longer be hidden. You are walking home, not to a location, but to your highest design. And this is only the beginning. This transformation is sacred. But what exactly is happening to your physical body, chosen one? Let's pause and consider. Have you been feeling sensations in your body that others dismiss or ignore? Aches that seem to have no source. Strange surges of energy followed by heavy exhaustion. Pressure building in your forehead or crown. A flutter in your chest that feels like something divine is knocking. Perhaps you've even felt waves of heat rushing through your spine, or an unusual ringing in your ears. Could it be that your body is responding not to illness, but to elevation? These signs aren't accidents. They are sacred indicators that your physical vessel is adjusting, aligning itself to hold the frequency of the fifth dimension. And this, beloved chosen one, is not just biological. It is holy. Romans 12:2 urges us, "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." That renewal isn't limited to thoughts alone. It touches your nervous system, your breath, your cells. Your whole being is undergoing a divine upgrade. Here's the truth your soul already knows. Your body must rise with your spirit. You cannot step into a higher realm while dragging the weight of the lower one. The energy of the third dimension, fear, control, ego, and survival, lodges itself deep within the body. That's why you carried tension for years. That's why your shoulders ached under burdens never meant for you. But now something higher is calling. And whether you fully understand it or not, your body is responding. Have you wondered why your sleep patterns are so erratic? Some nights you're wide awake with ideas, visions, or restlessness. Other nights you sleep long hours but wake up feeling as though you've run a marathon in your dreams. This isn't exhaustion, it's recalibration. What if your cells were being rewritten? What if your nervous system was being rewired by heaven's frequency? That's exactly what's happening. Your body is learning to sustain itself differently. You may feel thirst like never before, or random cravings that vanish just as quickly. You may find certain foods no longer appeal to you. Even this is sacred. As your frequency rises, your body begins to crave things that align with divine nourishment, not just physical need. And what about that heat that climbs your spine in moments of prayer or stillness? That is Kundalini energy awakening, spiritual fire, meeting divine order. It is the same fire that Moses felt when he stood before the burning bush, a presence too holy for shoes or distractions. Exodus 3:5 recounts God's words, "Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground." Could it be that your body is becoming that holy ground? Have you felt tingling in your hands, feet, or the crown of your head, sometimes while doing nothing at all? That's energy activation. This isn't anxiety or illness. These are sacred signs that your vessel is being awakened from within. And let's not forget your heart, not just metaphorically, but physically. Some of you have felt flutters, tightness, or an unfamiliar pressure in your chest. It may have alarmed you, but what if this is your heart expanding to hold more light? What if God is making room for compassion, strength, and the divine assignment ahead? As 2 Corinthians 4:16 reminds us, though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. Even Saint Teresa of Avila, the Spanish mystic and doctor of the Church, wrote of divine ecstasy being felt as fire in the chest. So intense it made her tremble. Could your body be echoing the same divine encounter? Do not fear these sensations, chosen one. They are not random. They are confirmation. You are not just spiritually awakening. You are being physically prepared for a higher calling. You are the bridge between heaven and earth, and this transformation proves that heaven is drawing near. So ask yourself gently, not with fear, but with wonder, what is God preparing your body to carry? And are you willing to honor the sacred changes that others may never understand? But you must understand this. Your heart is not just an emotional center. It is the gateway to the fifth dimension. It's the place where heaven whispers into the human spirit, where the divine and physical meet. And for you to enter this sacred realm, your heart must open wide, wider than it ever has before. And what happens when a heart expands? Everything buried rises. Years of hidden grief, regret, unspoken fears, abandoned dreams, suppressed love, and deep spiritual longing begin to surface, not to break you, but to free you. Have you noticed yourself suddenly feeling emotions without a clear cause? Old memories returning not to haunt, but to be healed. This isn't emotional instability, it's sacred release. Proverbs 4:23 tells us, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." In this transition, your heart is becoming not just a source of emotion, but a channel for divine frequency. And for that to happen, the old energy must be cleared out. Even your digestion may be shifting. You might find yourself eating less or craving only pure living foods, fruits, vegetables, herbal teas, or water. Your body is detoxing, naturally rejecting what once sustained the old vibration. It no longer wants what was feeding ego, numbness, or emotional suppression. Has your skin been more sensitive lately? Breakouts appearing seemingly out of nowhere, tingling or itching without cause. That's not decay, that's purification. Your skin is the largest organ of detox, and it's working with your soul to push out physical and energetic toxins. And then the emotional waves begin. One moment you're in tears, the next you're laughing. Then suddenly you feel overwhelming peace or deep loss with no logical trigger. These aren't mood swings, these are frequency floods. Your emotions are no longer being stored as weight, they're being released in real time. Just as Psalm 56 verse 8 says, "You have kept count of my tossings, put my tears in your bottle." God sees every release. Every tear is sacred. Even your bones and joints may ache. You may feel heavy one moment and then suddenly feel light as air. That's your energetic blueprint shifting. The original design of your physical form is being rewritten so it can hold divine frequency. You are not just being healed, you are being rebuilt. Leonardo da Vinci, one of history's greatest artists and thinkers, once said, "The human foot is a masterpiece of engineering and a work of art." Imagine what happens when that masterpiece is spiritually upgraded. That's what your body's becoming, a living, breathing cathedral of light. This is why your body can no longer function the way it once did. It's not breaking down, it's being born again. Your entire system is recalibrating to become a vessel capable of carrying God's power with grace. Chosen one, you were never meant to stay the same. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to carry divine energy in a human body, to walk the earth with the heavens inside of you. This is not just spiritual, it is sacred responsibility. Treat this transition with deep reverence. Speak kindly over your body. Bless your skin, your cells, your organs. Drink living water. Rest like you're preparing for war. Walk barefoot on the earth to remind your body where it came from and who created it. As Genesis 2:7 tells us, "Then the Lord God formed man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life." That breath is still within you. And remember, not everyone will understand what you're going through. They may call it strange, dramatic, or even delusional, but that's because they haven't seen what you've seen. They haven't felt what you're feeling. And that's okay. You were never meant to walk the common path. You are a sign, a lighthouse, a divine pioneer. You are going first so others will know it's safe to follow. Have you experienced any of these signs? Have you felt your body calling for something higher, something holier? If so, honor it. Comment 999 to declare it, to confirm to yourself, to heaven, and to others walking this path that you are not alone. The physical signs are not the end, they are only the beginning. The sacred is unfolding in you. Let's go deeper now. You've felt it, haven't you? That invisible pull, that inner shift you can't explain but can no longer deny. You walk into familiar places, but something feels off. People you once connected with now seem uneasy in your presence, or magnetically drawn to you. What if that isn't your imagination at all? What if it's your spiritual field upgrading into a higher dimension? Chosen one, your energy is no longer compatible with the old patterns. Your aura, your invisible vibrational body, is expanding. It's becoming more refined, more sensitive, and more radiant. This too is part of your sacred initiation into the fifth dimension. It's not just a change in emotion or belief. It's a restructuring of your entire energetic presence. Let's speak clearly, as truth deserves clarity. Your spiritual field is the unseen layer surrounding your body. It holds your emotions, intentions, thoughts, and divine essence. And as your soul rises, that field begins to vibrate faster, cleaner, and more powerfully. Have you noticed how you can now sense someone's mood before they speak? Or how certain places suddenly feel heavy, while others feel like peace wrapped in light? That's not paranoia. That's perception. That's your discernment awakening. 1 Samuel 16:7 reminds us, "Man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." And now you too are beginning to see beyond the surface, to feel what God feels. You're being attuned to the deeper layers of reality. One of the most sacred shifts taking place is the activation of your light body, your higher self in energetic form. You may not see it with your physical eyes, but you feel it in silence, in prayer, in those moments when you suddenly feel surrounded by peace, presence, and wisdom. You can sense that there is something greater moving through you. That presence is you, but more. It's your spirit stretching into new space, making room to carry more of God's light. Even your chakras, the energy centers aligned along your spine, are being recalibrated. Have you felt tightness in your throat lately? That's the spirit urging you to speak truth. Pressure in your solar plexus. That's your divine confidence awakening. Tingling at the crown of your head. That's your connection to heaven opening like never before. These aren't random discomforts. These are spiritual surgeries, holy recalibrations. Your system is being rewired to carry more truth, more power, more love. And maybe you've noticed it. You crave solitude, silence, nature. You turn away from noise and chaos, not because you're isolating, but because your soul is tuning itself. Your energetic field is fine-tuning like a harp. An external static can disrupt the sacred song being written within you. Have you also found yourself more sensitive to media, technology, artificial lights, or even certain people? That's not weakness, it's refinement. You are no longer tolerating what vibrates beneath your divine frequency. As 2 Corinthians 6:17 says, "Come out from among them and be separate," and you are now living that separation, not in arrogance but in alignment. Your magnetic field is changing too. You are attracting people, opportunities and moments that are part of your soul's evolution. The right doors are beginning to open while others quietly shut. And yes, it may hurt to let go. But what if letting go is how you make room for the miraculous? Release with grace. You're not losing, you're clearing space. Your aura is like a garden now, and only what nourishes your light can stay rooted. And as this transformation unfolds, a sacred gift is being deposited in you, the gift of discernment. You will start to know things, not through reason, but through revelation. You'll feel truth before it's spoken. Your dreams may start pointing toward the future. Your body may give you signs, chills of warning, warmth of peace, before your mind even processes the situation. That is divine intelligence flowing through your energy field. Trust it. Don't dismiss it. And when someone says, "You feel different," or "I don't know why, but I feel peace around you," that is confirmation. Your presence is now healing. Your energy emits clarity. Your spirit carries divine light. You are becoming exactly who you were created to be, a spiritual mirror reflecting the truth of God back to the world. As Jesus said in Matthew 5:14, "You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden." You were never meant to blend in, chosen one. You were meant to radiate, to reveal, and to lead. This moment in your life is not just a phase, it's a divine activation. As God's chosen one, you're stepping into a sacred transformation that is awakening every cell in your being. Can you feel it? That internal shift? The strange urge to withdraw, to breathe more deeply, to question what once felt normal. That's not by accident. You're not just evolving. You are ascending into a higher realm of consciousness, known to many as the fifth dimension. This transformation is deeply personal, and it requires your reverence. Make time each day to cleanse your spiritual atmosphere. How do you do that? Through prayer that aligns your spirit with God's, by walking barefoot on the earth to ground your energy, by simply sitting in silence and allowing divine truth to fill the space. Speak life and protection over yourself. Declare what David once wrote in Psalm 91:11, "For he shall give his angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways." Those words are not poetic fiction. They are spiritual law, and they apply to you now more than ever. You are carrying something holy, a light that cannot be dimmed. But that light was never meant for you alone. It's for others, those lost in darkness, those who will recognize their path because you lit it first. Do you realize how many lives are waiting for your awakening? Your energy field is shifting. You're no longer the same. The old patterns no longer fit. Old distractions feel empty. What once entertained you now feels like noise. That's not boredom, it's elevation. You are preparing to enter the fifth dimension, not just with understanding, but with spiritual authority and grace. And with that authority comes purification. You are being spiritually detoxed, emotionally, mentally, and even physically. Has your heart been stirring without clear cause? Do tears fall in moments that seem disconnected from logic? Are old memories suddenly surfacing, things you thought you healed from? This is not weakness. This is not regression. This is deliverance. Jesus said in Matthew 5:4, "Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted." These emotional waves you're feeling are not signs of fragility. They are sacred signals that healing is underway. Mourning is not just for loss, it's for release. You are not breaking down, you are breaking free. As your spiritual vibration rises, your body can no longer carry emotions that vibrate in the lower frequencies. Bitterness, anger, guilt, resentment. These aren't just feelings, they're spiritual weights. And every weight not assigned by God must be laid aside. Hebrews 12:1 reminds us, "Let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us." You're being stripped of what hinders you so you can run freely in your purpose. You might feel overwhelmed. You might feel it all at once or in waves that surprise you. Either way, don't suppress the release. Don't numb it with distractions. And above all, don't shame yourself for experiencing it. This is holy work. The kind of work that angels stand guard over. You were never designed to carry trauma forever. Those moments in your life were permitted for refinement, not imprisonment. Joseph was betrayed by his own brothers and sold into slavery. Yet he later declared in Genesis 50:20, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." Can you see now why your past pain is being pulled up? It's so it can be transformed into purpose. Even modern thinkers and creators are sensing this shift. The late Maya Angelou, an author who inspired millions, once said, "We delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but rarely admit the changes it has gone through to achieve that beauty." You are in the chrysalis now. The cocoon may feel tight, dark, unfamiliar, but wings are forming. So, as your soul purges, don't run from the emotions. Feel them, bless them, and then release them. They have served their purpose. Let them go. And now consider this. If your tears could speak, what would they be asking you to release? What outdated identity? What old pain? What burden that doesn't belong to your future? The fifth dimension has no room for what weighs your spirit down. It is a realm of alignment, purpose, and peace. You're being invited there, not someday, but now. Stay open, stay obedient. The divine work has only just begun. When your emotional body begins to clear, something powerful and divine begins to take place. Your spiritual energy starts to flow with a freedom you've never known before. That's why, after a long cry, there's often a strange lightness in your chest. It's not exhaustion, it's spiritual release. That's why a painful memory you once couldn't even think about without your heart aching suddenly passes through your mind without breaking you. And that's why situations that once triggered anger or fear now meet only your peace. This is not weakness. This is what freedom feels like when heaven begins to settle inside your soul. You are releasing spiritual blockages that were never meant to stay. As this emotional detox deepens, you may begin to grieve people, places, relationships, and even previous versions of yourself. You might wonder why you suddenly feel sorrow over things that happened years ago, or why letting go of something from the past feels like a funeral. That grief is sacred. You are mourning the death of an identity that protected you, the old self who fought to survive, who wore pain like armor, who held everything together through silent suffering. That self was never a failure. In fact, it carried you further than most could have endured. But that version of you was only built for survival, not ascension. The Apostle Paul speaks to this transformation in Ephesians 4:22-24, when he says, "Put off your old self, which belongs to your former manner of life, and put on the new self, created after the likeness of God, in true righteousness and holiness." That is the work you're doing now. You're shedding what no longer aligns with truth so that you can become what God always saw in you. You are entering a new realm, the fifth dimension, a space of spirit rather than flesh, of love rather than fear, and only what is aligned with peace, authenticity, and divine truth can come with you. This is why some things are falling away. Not because you failed to hold on, but because they cannot breathe in this new elevation. Have you also noticed moments of joy bubbling up without a cause? A quiet, golden peace that sneaks into your soul, even while your life on the outside still looks uncertain. This is not delusion, it's alignment. It's your inner world finally synchronizing with your higher soul. You're no longer reacting to life from wounds, you are responding from spirit. Psalm 30 verse 5 reminds us, "Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning." And that morning is dawning inside of you now. The joy you feel, sudden, unexplainable, holy, is not escaping reality, it's entering truth. You're beginning to feel emotions in their purest form, untouched by fear, untainted by ego, unblocked by pain. What a miracle it is to laugh without guilt, to feel peace without needing an explanation. Chosen one, your emotional sensitivity is not a burden, it is your divine compass. It is how your soul speaks to you when words are not enough. Why ignore something so holy? Why shame the very gift that lets you sense what others miss? When you feel deeply, you are listening to heaven's whisper. Even the silence between your sobs carries truth. Let yourself feel it all. Let the tears wash through you like sacred rain. Let the laughter rise like resurrection from within your chest. Let the quiet moments of solitude remind you of who you are becoming. For every release, every emotional wave, every sacred breakdown is not a collapse, it is a doorway. If today feels like too much, if your heart aches with no clear reason, know this: you are not broken, you are breaking through. You are shedding layers of illusion so the authentic you can emerge. Jesus himself, in the Garden of Gethsemane, wept in anguish. He felt every emotion, not because he was weak, but because he was fully surrendered to the Father's will. You are walking a similar path now, a sacred letting go so that resurrection can come. Artist and speaker Charlie Mackesy, whose artwork touches millions, once said, "One of our greatest freedoms is how we react to things, and you, God's chosen one, are no longer reacting from wounds. You are responding from wisdom. So if the tears fall again today, let them. If the silence feels louder than words, listen to it. Every wave is a signal that your soul is healing. Every breath is a reminder that you're making room for the new. Every emotional purge is a step closer to the truth of who you are becoming." Have you been feeling this shift in your own life? The emotional release, the peace with no reason, the sense of something sacred being reborn within you? If so, you are not alone. Comment 111 to let others know you're in this shift too. We are a tribe, moving together through the sacred veil. And you, chosen one, are right on time. Stay close, chosen one. You're not just being healed, you're being reprogrammed for divine purpose. Your spirit is rising higher, and this emotional clearing you've endured is only the beginning. It's not only your heart that's releasing the past. Your mind is undergoing a sacred transformation. Can you feel it? Can you sense that the way you think has shifted? You're not imagining it. What's happening is divine mental rewiring. The fifth dimension is not just a place of spiritual elevation. It's a realm of new thought, new frequency, and new timelines. As your physical body adjusts to this higher vibration, your thoughts are being renewed to match it. The way you once thought, the constant self-doubt, the fear-based loops, the stories you believed without questioning, those are being dismantled. Why? Because your mind is no longer compatible with illusion. You're beginning to see through the fog of this world, and that clarity is not coming from the outside, it's emerging from within. Romans 12:2 speaks directly to this when it says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." You are not just feeling different, you are thinking differently. This is not coincidence, this is spiritual evolution. You've likely noticed it. You don't obsess over people's opinions the way you used to. You've stopped believing every anxious thought that appears in your mind. That's not apathy, it's maturity. It's your soul choosing divine truth over worldly noise. You're beginning to realize that your thoughts aren't just words, they are spiritual seeds. Every time you focus on peace instead of panic, on faith instead of fear, you're planting a future aligned with your higher calling. At times you may feel disoriented. You may wonder why some thoughts keep resurfacing, or why the mind feels so loud. That's because the old programming is being uprooted. The survival scripts, the trauma narratives, the lies whispered in your weakest moments, they're rising to be released, not reinforced. You're no longer thinking just to survive. You're thinking to ascend. This process can be unsettling. After all, how do you navigate a mind that no longer fits the world you once knew? But remember, confusion often precedes clarity. The voices that once said, "You're not enough," are growing faint. The limits that told you to settle are beginning to dissolve. And now, chosen one, you are beginning to write new mental scripts in the language of your soul. The prophet Isaiah wrote in Isaiah 26:3, "You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you." This is what you're learning now. How to anchor your mind in God's frequency. How to maintain peace in a world that profits from your chaos. Have you noticed how negativity feels heavier lately? How gossip leaves a residue on your spirit? That's not oversensitivity, it's discernment. That's your energy refusing to host what doesn't match your assignment. You now understand that every word, every thought, every mental agreement carries weight. In the fifth dimension, thoughts don't just pass through, they create. And your focus is no longer a passive function, it's a tool of creation. The great spiritual thinker Neville Goddard once said, "Change your conception of yourself, and you will automatically change the world in which you live." That's what's happening to you. The inner narrative is shifting, and because of that, your external world must shift too. The timeline you're stepping into now is no longer ruled by fear or limitation. It's a timeline written in the ink of divine possibility. Time may feel strange to you lately. Days fly by. The past seems like another life. That's because your mind is no longer operating under linear time. It's stepping into divine timing. You are no longer bound by the patterns of the past. You are being pulled toward what is unfolding right now and what is divinely possible. Have you begun speaking more gently to yourself? Have you caught your own critical thoughts and softened them with compassion? That's mental rewiring. That's soul-led consciousness. That's the sign that your mind is beginning to serve your spirit, not sabotage it. You're starting to discover that silence holds more answers than overthinking ever did. That speaking blessings into your day has more power than 10 hours of stress. That simply being present holds more authority than chasing every outcome. You're not just learning to control your thoughts, you're learning to consecrate them. Philippians 4:8 reminds you, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, think about such things. This is not just moral guidance, it is spiritual strategy. Your thoughts are gates. And in this new dimension, what you allow through them determines what grows in your life. So if your thoughts have changed, if your inner voice has softened, if you're catching old mental habits and replacing them with love, congratulations. This is divine mental rewiring. This is your sign. A new timeline is unfolding. A life where your mind no longer imprisons your spirit, but empowers it. Stay intentional, chosen one. Stay aware. Your thoughts are no longer echoes of the past. They are keys to the next dimension. Let's keep going, chosen one. You're not finished transforming. In fact, what's unfolding now is perhaps the most mystical and affirming part of your journey. By this point, something within you has shifted so completely that you can no longer believe life is random. You see patterns where others see coincidence. You hear meaning in songs others dismiss. Have you noticed the same numbers showing up repeatedly? Sequences like 1111, 222, or 555 flashing on clocks, receipts, or license plates. Do dreams feel more vivid than waking life, or moments of déjà vu leave you breathless with recognition? These aren't just quirks of the mind or moments of luck. They are synchronicities, divine alignments designed to confirm that your frequency is rising and that you are being spoken to through spirit. As you align with the fifth dimension, the universe no longer speaks to you through chaos. It communicates through symbols, patterns, and impressions. This is sacred language. These are divine breadcrumbs placed on your path to show you that you're not lost. You're being led. In the Bible, we see this divine pattern of symbolic guidance repeatedly. In Matthew 2:2, the wise men followed a star, a heavenly sign, to locate the newborn king. That celestial alignment was not random. It was God's way of guiding those attuned enough to notice. Just as the star appeared to them, patterns are now appearing to you. These signs are your spiritual compass, pulling you forward with divine intention. When you see repeating numbers, pause and notice what you were thinking or feeling in that moment. Were you questioning your path and suddenly saw 444? That's a message of divine protection. Were you contemplating a new decision and spotted 555? That may signal transformation is close. These aren't trends, they are spiritual codes. A reminder that you're not walking blindly, you're in rhythm with heaven's timing. Your outer world is now mirroring your inner world more than ever. Do you sense that what you think begins to manifest faster? That your emotions shape your interactions? That your presence alone shifts the energy of a room? That's because the veil between spirit and matter is thinning. And in that sacred space, heaven speaks, sometimes in whispers, sometimes through signs that only the awake will catch. Psalm 19 verse 1 declares, "The heavens declare the glory of God, the skies proclaim the work of his hands." Creation itself is a form of divine speech, and now it is speaking to you in layers of meaning that bypass logic and go straight to your soul. It's not just numbers either. Have you noticed certain animals appear at exact emotional moments? Maybe a dove during a season of peace, or a lion when you need courage. These are not chance encounters. Even animals can serve as messengers when you are spiritually open. The prophet Elijah was fed by ravens in the wilderness, birds becoming provision in a time of drought. 1 Kings 17:4-6. That's how intimately God can communicate, even through nature. Sometimes a forgotten memory resurfaces the moment you're doubting your worth, reminding you of how far you've come. Or a stranger says the exact phrase you needed to hear. Or a loved one from the past reaches out, just as you're contemplating a major decision. These aren't coincidences, they're sacred confirmations. You are now part of a divine pattern, woven with intention. Your journey is not aimless, it's encoded with spiritual timing and symbolic language. The signs are saying what your soul already senses. You are not alone. You are being prepared for more. The renowned painter and mystic Hilma af Klint, who created visionary works in the early 1900s, once said that she painted not from imagination, but from spiritual instruction. She believed her hands were guided by divine energy to express what the world was not yet ready to understand. Just like her, You are now tuned into a level of guidance that others might overlook, but you were born to perceive it. This guidance is God's way of reminding you, you are seen, you are known, and you are chosen. These signs are not just to assure you, they are preparing you. They are calling you into a deeper trust, a higher sensitivity, and a more surrendered walk with the divine. So the next time you see those numbers, hear that familiar song at just the right moment, or experience a dream so real it wakes your soul. Pause. Something sacred is happening. Ask within, not out of fear, but from your deeper knowing. What is heaven trying to reveal right now? And trust that you will understand, because the language of the divine is already written in your spirit. Chosen one, this is just the beginning of your divine communication. Your evolution is not random. Your journey is coded. Your life is becoming a sacred dialogue between your soul and the source of all things. As your spiritual sensitivity deepens, your inner world becomes more alive than ever before. And one of the most sacred tools in this new season of awakening is your dreams. They're no longer just fragments of imagination. They become messages, downloads, and sometimes even divine activations. Have you found yourself dreaming of flying, of walking through endless light, of encountering ancestors, angels, or people who have passed on? These are not random. These are invitations. These are visions sent to you from the spiritual realm to elevate your consciousness and remind you of who you truly are. In the Bible, dreams were never treated as fantasy. They were divine instruments. Joseph, the son of Jacob, received prophetic dreams that foretold his future position and saved entire nations. Genesis 37. Likewise, Daniel was able to interpret dreams so accurately that it shifted the course of empires. Daniel 2. Why should it be any different for you now? As your sensitivity increases, so does your connection to the realm where God speaks in symbols, in light, and in timeless truth. You might also notice that time itself begins to feel strange. Have you felt moments stretch longer than they should? Has déjà vu whispered to your spirit like you've lived this moment before? These aren't psychological glitches, they're spiritual timestamps. They are reminders that your soul is no longer bound by the clock. It's moving between realms, stepping beyond the limits of past, present, and future. Ecclesiastes 3:11 says, "He has made everything beautiful in its time. He has also set eternity in the human heart." This means that deep within you is already a knowing that exists outside of time. And now you're learning how to access it. And then there's silence. Have you ever been in a room or walking outside when everything seems to pause and suddenly you feel watched over? Not in fear, but in comfort. That stillness is not empty. It is full of divine presence. It is often in that very stillness that the Spirit speaks the loudest. Remember 1 Kings 19:12, when Elijah did not hear God in the earthquake nor the fire, but in a gentle whisper. That whisper lives in the silence you're starting to notice. In those moments, a message is being spoken to your soul. You are not alone. Keep going. You are in the right place. The more you notice these divine patterns, the more they begin to multiply, not because you're imagining them, but because you're finally tuned in. You're not chasing signs anymore, they're chasing you. Why? Because you have entered the frequency of purpose. You are vibrating in sync with divine intelligence. Your alignment with God's will is so strong now that the universe responds to your awareness with clarity. Spiritual author and mystic Caroline Myss, who teaches on energy and intuition, once said, "The soul always knows what to do to heal itself. The challenge is to silence the mind." And that's precisely what's happening. Your soul is leading, and the signs are following. You may hear a phrase on the radio that speaks directly to your spirit. You may see an animal that represents courage appear during a time of fear. You may walk past a stranger who says the very words you've been praying to hear. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. You are not imagining the sacred, you are immersed in it. Have you thanked God lately for the way He's guiding you through this season? Each sign you witness, each dream you receive, is a form of divine applause, evidence that you are evolving. The heavens rejoice not just in your victories, but in your awareness. Luke 15:10 reminds us that there is joy in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner who repents. If the angels rejoice over repentance, how much more might they celebrate when you waken? So the next time you see a repeating number, encounter an unlikely coincidence, or hear a message that hits your soul like a divine whisper, don't ignore it. Pause. Breathe. Offer thanks. Say aloud, I receive, I remember, I rise. And if signs and synchronicities have been flooding your life lately, this is not your imagination. This is confirmation. Comment 1 if you've been seeing the shift. You are being applauded by the universe. With every number, every silence, every dream, you are evolving, and heaven is watching with joy. Relationships are beginning to shift, not because you've become cold, but because you've become clear. Chosen one of the most painful and revealing signs of your spiritual evolution is the silent unraveling of certain connections. You're not imagining it. The closeness that once felt natural now feels strained. Conversations that once flowed freely now feel like effort. Some relationships are fading not with conflict, but with quietness. No closure, no clear reason, just distance. But this isn't chaos, it's confirmation. You are changing, spiritually, energetically, emotionally, and because your inner world is ascending, your external world is realigning. As your frequency rises into the vibration of the fifth dimension, everything around you must either harmonize with it or be released. The old patterns, the people who fed them, the dynamics built on survival, performance, or pain, they cannot breathe in the elevation you now inhabit. Jesus himself experienced this. In Luke 8:51, when he was about to perform the miracle of raising a girl from the dead, he only allowed Peter, James, and John to follow him into the room. Not everyone can walk with you into resurrection. Some people are only assigned to your life during the wilderness, not the promised land. This isn't rejection, it's redirection. You may find yourself wondering, why does it hurt so much to grow away from people I once loved? Or why do I feel guilty for needing space from certain friendships? You're not cruel, you're not selfish, you are becoming. And that process requires sacred space. Your soul is shedding what cannot walk with you into this next dimension. The fifth dimension is not built on shallow foundations. It cannot hold what was constructed in fear, control, ego, or codependency. This new realm you're entering is a place where only truth, love, and authenticity can survive. Any connection rooted in manipulation or masked insecurity simply begins to dissolve in the light of who you are becoming. Isaiah 43:18-19 reminds you, "Forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it?" The new thing God is doing in you is making the old feel uncomfortable. That discomfort is not a punishment, it's the birth of alignment. Yes, it's hard to watch people drift away. Yes, you may carry sorrow over bonds that once felt unbreakable. But ask yourself gently, can you truly stay where your soul no longer fits? The truth is, you are no longer available for relationships that dim your light, mute your truth, or tie you to the version of yourself that you've outgrown. There is a sacred loneliness that often comes with spiritual awakening. Even Jesus withdrew to lonely places to pray. Luke 5:16. Sometimes solitude is not isolation, it's invitation. God is calling you to higher ground, and the view from that place requires fewer distractions and deeper discernment. The inspirational speaker Trent Shelton once said, "You'll never grow into the person you're supposed to be if you keep holding on to people who are not growing with you." That's the reality you're stepping into. You're not abandoning anyone, you're ascending, and those who are meant to walk with you will rise too. So if you feel the grief of letting go, let it come. Grieve what was. Honor the connections that once served you, but do not feel guilty for choosing peace over familiarity, truth over comfort, growth over attachment. The relationships that are meant for your next level will not require you to shrink, to pretend, or to compromise your calling. You are not the problem. You are the proof that healing is possible, and healing doesn't just change your heart, it changes your circle. Chosen one, be at peace. You're not falling apart, you're falling into alignment, and those who truly see your soul will meet you there. In fact, as your vibration continues to rise, something becomes crystal clear: who is truly aligned with your growth and who is not. This clarity doesn't come from judgment, it comes from elevation. You begin to see with new eyes, not only people's words, but their energy, their intentions, and the spaces they inhabit. And while it doesn't mean you must cut everyone off, it does mean boundaries become sacred. They are not walls of pride, but gates of discernment. Can you feel it now? How certain conversations feel too shallow for your spirit. How being around some people leaves you tired instead of inspired. You can no longer pretend to enjoy company that drains you. You can no longer tolerate gossip, negativity, or idle chatter that lacks purpose. Your soul is craving depth now. It craves truth, peace, and alignment. And when someone's energy feels off, you sense it before you can explain it. Don't ignore that feeling. It's not paranoia, it's protection. It's your spirit guarding your destiny. In Proverbs 4:23, the word says, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." That guarding includes who you allow close to your heart. Your spiritual sensitivity has become a compass, and it won't let you walk with what no longer reflects who you're becoming. Some of you may be in a season that feels like isolation. You've lost friends you never imagined losing. Family ties are strained. People misunderstand your silence, misinterpret your growth, and even accuse you of changing. And maybe you've asked yourself, why does growth feel so lonely? Why does awakening come with such emotional cost? But chosen one, this is not punishment, it is divine preparation. God is not leaving you alone, He is clearing your space. Because what He is about to place in your life requires room. You are not being abandoned, you are being aligned. In the Bible, before David was crowned king, he spent years alone in caves, running from Saul. Before Jesus stepped into ministry, he was led into the wilderness. Even the Apostle Paul, after his encounter with Christ, spent time in obscurity before returning with power. Why? Because divine calling often requires sacred separation. You are not forgotten, you are being formed. You are not meant to remain surrounded by people who only see your surface. You are meant to find your tribe, those who see your soul, who honor your process, who speak your spiritual language without translation. They are not late. They are being prepared to meet you at your elevation. As painful as this phase may be, don't miss the beauty within it. You're no longer performing to keep others comfortable. You're no longer dimming your light to avoid judgment. You're finally choosing truth over approval, peace over people-pleasing, alignment over attachment. That is power. That is the freedom Jesus promised in John 8:32. Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. There's a holy courage rising in you now. You are learning to release with grace, to let go without bitterness, because not everyone is meant to walk with you, and that's not a loss. That's divine design. The ones who are meant to rise with you will recognize your transformation and meet you in the new dimension. The ones who leave, they're simply creating space for relationships that will nourish your spirit like never before. The poet and theologian John O'Donohue once wrote, "When the soul is ready, its mate will appear." That applies not only to romantic love, but to friendships, partnerships, mentors, and soul-aligned connections. Your soul is ready, and now the divine is orchestrating encounters that will feed you, not drain you. So if you're losing people right now, let the tears fall if they must. But don't shrink. Don't beg for what's trying to leave. Don't silence your growth to keep old comfort alive. You are not the version of yourself they knew. And that's a beautiful thing. That means you're moving. Your soul has already chosen its direction. It's walking boldly into the frequency of truth, peace, and divine purpose. Everything that falls away now is simply making room for what and who is waiting to walk with you in the next dimension. Stay rooted, stay open, and trust the process. Spiritual sensitivity. You feel it, don't you? That quiet intensity building in your soul, like something ancient and powerful, is waking up inside you. Chosen one, this is not confusion. This is not imagination. This is your divine inheritance being reawakened. If you've recently found yourself sensing things before they happen, picking up on others' emotions as if they were your own, or knowing something without being told, understand this. You're not losing your mind. You're awakening. Your spiritual sensitivity is intensifying because your gifts, those sacred God-given abilities planted in you before birth, are coming online. And this is one of the clearest signs that you are stepping into the frequency of the fifth dimension. It's not a place, it's a state of alignment. And to live in it, your soul must be tuned to heaven's voice. Just as you have physical senses, sight, hearing, touch, your soul has spiritual senses. And now they're beginning to activate. Are you noticing more vivid dreams, sudden flashes of insight, a voice within that's growing louder and clearer with every decision? These are not fantasies, they are signals. You are no longer just perceiving the world through your physical body, you are seeing through the eyes of the Spirit. In the Bible, we see countless examples of spiritual sensitivity being the doorway to divine purpose. The prophet Samuel, even as a child, heard the voice of God calling his name in the night. 1 Samuel 3. Elijah, standing on Mount Horeb, didn't hear God in the wind or the fire, but in a still, small voice. 1 Kings 19:12. Their sensitivity wasn't weakness, it was their assignment. What you call gut feeling is becoming something more sacred. Your intuition is sharpening. It's no longer just a vague instinct. It's your internal compass pointing you toward truth, protecting you from what seems acceptable but is spiritually off. Have you started to withdraw from crowded rooms or felt an unexplainable discomfort during certain conversations? That's not antisocial behavior. That's energetic discernment. Your spirit can now feel when something doesn't belong, not just morally, but energetically. You might be tapping into deeper, less understood gifts. You may begin hearing divine whispers in moments of quiet. You may sense the intentions behind someone's words, or even feel the spiritual atmosphere of a room before a word is spoken. And in quiet moments, whether during prayer, meditation, or even washing dishes, visions may flash before your eyes, subtle yet undeniable. You aren't imagining it, you're remembering it. These gifts were always within you. But now, because the timing is divine, they are being stirred again. 2 Timothy 1:6 reminds us, "Fan into flame the gift of God, which is in you." This awakening isn't random, it's not sudden, it's strategic. These gifts were embedded in your spirit for this very season of your life. And now that they're awakening, so is your purpose. But with these gifts comes sacred responsibility. You are not just sensing more for curiosity's sake. You're being equipped to guide those who are lost, to protect those who are vulnerable, to expose deception, bring healing, and awaken the sleeping. Your gifts are not decoration, they are divine instruments. Think of Corrie ten Boom, a Dutch Christian who helped countless Jews escape the Holocaust. Her discernment, born from deep spiritual sensitivity, saved lives. She said, "Never be afraid to trust an unknown future to a known God." You're being trained in that same kind of faith, walking not by sight but by spirit. Sometimes your sensitivity may feel like a burden. You feel too much, you see too deeply, you absorb the heaviness of rooms you didn't create. But hear this, you were built for this, you were chosen for this. God placed this within you, knowing exactly the weight you would carry and the light you would bring. So, ground yourself. Make space each day to anchor in prayer. Speak blessings over your mind and your senses. Protect your space. You're not fragile, you're finely tuned. You're not overwhelmed, you're becoming aware. What once made you feel different or strange is now proving to be your greatest power. Your spiritual awakening is not just about healing or comfort, it's about transformation. You are becoming the vessel God always intended you to be. Your sensitivity is not your weakness, it is your divine strength. And as you step further into the fifth dimension, these gifts will lead you into soul-level assignments, divine alignments, and profound moments of purpose. Stay grounded, stay aware, because the more you trust your gifts, the more they will reveal. This is only the beginning. Let's keep going, chosen one. There's more to uncover, more to embody. By now, you've felt it. The shift is no longer subtle. It's not just spiritual. It's full body, full reality, full soul. You're no longer living in the vibration you once called normal. The world around you, once predictable and familiar, now seems distant, almost dreamlike. That isn't disorientation, it's divine elevation. Your soul has already begun to step into the fifth dimension, and your inner world knows it even before your mind catches up. But in order to fully live in this new frequency with grace and stability, your vessel, your body, your energy, and your daily habits must align with this higher state of being. You're not being asked to rush. You're being invited to ease in. Ascension is not a competition. It's a sacred return to who you were always meant to be. The more intentional and aware you become, the smoother your transition will be. Can you feel that? The call to slow down, to simplify, to move as if every step is a prayer. Your body has already begun its recalibration. Your mind has been rewired. Your spirit has broken free from old frameworks. Now, your lifestyle must echo the transformation already happening within you. What once entertained you now overwhelms you. What once fed your flesh now drains your spirit. And that's not weakness, that's refinement. First, treat your peace as sacred territory, because it is. You've outgrown the chaos. You no longer have space for overstimulation, for drama that clouds clarity, or for distractions disguised as comfort. The version of you that's emerging in this fifth dimensional reality cannot breathe in noise, so simplify. Let go of excess. Create space not just physically, but energetically. Spend time in nature, not as an escape, but as a return. Walk barefoot on the ground. Let the breeze carry your thoughts away. Feel the sun kiss your skin as a reminder that you are not a stranger to this earth, but a reflection of its sacred design. Psalm 19 verse 1 tells us, "The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of his hands." Let the sky realign you. Let creation remind you of your place within divine order. Even your diet may begin to shift. You may find your body naturally craving lighter foods, more fruits, clean water, herbal teas, living greens. Trust that. You don't have to force this transformation. Your body is already partnering with spirit. Feed it like the sacred vessel it is. The fifth dimensional body does not thrive on artificiality. It thrives on nourishment that carries life force energy. And when you feel the call to rest, honor it. You are not lazy. You are integrating. Sleep, now more than ever, is not just physical restoration, it is spiritual travel. Your dreams have become classrooms, temples, even portals. Healing occurs while your conscious mind is quiet. New light codes and energies embed themselves while you sleep. Take naps, sleep deeply. Rest as if heaven depends on it, because it does. In this season, breathwork, prayer, and conscious silence are not luxuries, they're lifelines. Set sacred space each day to simply be. Breathe slowly, feel intentionally. Let the silence hold you. It's in these moments that your soul speaks the loudest. Mark 1:35 reminds us that Jesus went out to solitary places to pray. Even the Son of God withdrew for spiritual recalibration. If he needed quiet, how much more do you? Spiritual hygiene is vital now. Clean your aura like you clean your home. Light a candle, play worship music, speak blessings over your body, anoint your space. Let go of energy that doesn't belong to you. Be intentional about what you allow in your atmosphere. What you carry within shapes what you attract without. Be mindful of how you speak to yourself. In the fifth dimension, words are no longer idle, they're sacred instruments. Proverbs 18:21 declares, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue." So speak life. Affirm your process. Encourage your soul like you would a dear friend. Celebrate small shifts. Every breath you take in alignment is an act of obedience to your divine becoming. And perhaps the most delicate work of all, be patient with those who haven't shifted yet. Some may resist your new way of being. Some may try to pull you back into the familiarity of the old. Do not resent them, bless them, but protect your frequency. Stay rooted in the elevation God has assigned you. You are not called to convince anyone. You are called to embody the truth. Let your light preach louder than your lips. The final preparation is not a performance, it is a lifestyle. You're not becoming someone new. You're remembering who you've always been at the soul level. Don't rush the unfolding. Don't force what is meant to grow. Let it take root. Let it go deep. Once you are anchored in this new dimension, everything around you will begin to align. Your relationships, your calling, your inner atmosphere, and the reflection you see in the mirror will no longer be just your face. It will be your truth, shining without apology. The shift is here, and you, chosen one, are ready to live it. Chosen one, pause for a moment. Take a deep breath. Let everything you've received settle into your spirit, not just as words, but as a divine confirmation, because you need this now more than ever. You were not chosen merely to witness the rise of the new earth. You were chosen to embody it. This transformation you've been moving through, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, was never just for your personal growth. It was for the collective. It was for the aching, awakening world that is searching for something real, something lasting, something true. You are the living bridge between dimensions. You are the evidence that peace can exist in the midst of chaos, that love can endure in the face of judgment, that truths can stand firm in a world built on illusion. Everything you've walked through, every silent breakdown, every long night with tear-soaked prayers, every surrender when no one else saw you, was sacred preparation. None of it was wasted. God was refining you in the fire of experience so that you could become the carrier of this new frequency. You were emptied so that you could be filled with light. The Apostle Paul wrote in 2 Corinthians 4:7, "But we have this treasure in jars of clay to show that this all-surpassing power is from God and not from us." You may not feel strong, you may not feel worthy, but you are the vessel, and the treasure is already inside of you. This new earth isn't coming down from the sky in some dramatic spectacle. It's rising through people, through souls like yours, souls who said yes when it would have been easier to stay numb, souls who let go of the old story, Souls who were willing to be broken open so that God could fill them with something eternal. You may not feel ready. You may look at your life and wonder, why me? But heaven does not call the qualified. It qualifies the called. And you, beloved, have been called. That restlessness within you, that pull to release the life that no longer fits, that quiet ache to step into something higher, that is your divine assignment knocking. Can you feel it? The shift has already begun. Look at how much you've let go. Look at the fears you've faced. Look at the illusions you've outgrown. The person you were even 1 year ago could not carry what you now hold with grace. And the person you are becoming is already moving in alignment with higher timelines, soul-level relationships, divine knowledge, and sacred wisdom. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where your soul was always meant to arrive. This calling is not about perfection. It's not about mastering every step. It's about walking in authenticity. It's about choosing truth over convenience, presence over performance, and love over everything. Every time you choose love, when fear would be easier, you anchor heaven on earth. Every time you choose peace when your mind screams for control, you broadcast the frequency of the new world. Do not underestimate your presence. You shift rooms just by standing in them. You change hearts just by being yourself. You carry light into places where darkness thought it had won. And you do this not by force, but because you've become light. You are the proof that healing is possible, that rising is possible, that the Spirit of God can live, breathe, and move in human form. As you walk forward, this next chapter won't ask you to chase anything. It will ask you to embody everything you've already become. You're no longer just a seeker. You are now a carrier, a messenger, a way shower, a builder of the new earth. And if you've ever doubted your place in this shift, let this be your confirmation. You are not crazy. You are not alone. You are not too late. You are exactly who you were always meant to be. The path ahead may still carry mystery, but your soul knows the way. Trust it. Lean into it. Walk boldly into the light, just as Esther was raised up for such a time as this. Esther 4:14. So have you been called for this moment. You are not here by accident. You are the answer to someone else's prayer. The new earth is not waiting for someone else. It is awakening through you. So breathe, embrace it, embody it. And if this message stirred something inside you, don't keep it to yourself. Someone else is searching for the very confirmation your spirit just received. Let them know they're not alone. Comment 777 if your soul knows this is your calling. Let your light shine. Let your presence lead. The world is waiting for what you carry. Thank you for walking this sacred path. Thank you for listening, not just with your ears, but with your soul. Thank you for choosing to remember who you truly are in a world that constantly tries to make you forget. Your presence here is not unnoticed. Every time you show up for your healing, for your growth, for your purpose, you bless the entire collective. Every step you take toward the light creates a path for others to follow. You are not just transforming, you are becoming a lighthouse for those still lost in the storm. To those who have supported this message, whether by listening, commenting, sharing, or offering a super thanks, know this: your generosity flows far beyond what the eyes can see. Every act of love you offer here plants seeds of awakening in the hearts of many. And even if you've simply received and felt something shift inside you, that is enough. We are grateful for your presence. We bless every soul connected to this message, those here now, and those who will find it when they're ready. May you be covered in grace. May you walk in peace. May your journey forward be guided by divine truth and unshakable love. Until next time, stay rooted, stay radiant, and never forget, you are chosen, you are rising, you are the new earth in motion. With love and light, thank you.